The late adopter. Hi guys, how you doing? What? Wait. Where's my webcam? Oh no, guys. Oh no. Oh no, there is no webcam, guys. There is no webcam. Okay, we gotta do this without my beautiful face on the screen. Because when this happens, I need to restart the OBS. And that means that I have to restart the stream. And I don't want to do that, so we're gonna do this without cam. Hopefully you guys can actually manage without seeing my beautiful face on the screen. So, you know, there's that. Okay, so today, no beautiful face. You know what we can do? We can just draw the face. We can draw the face up here. We can do it like this up here in the screen in the corner, and we can draw the face right there. You go. This is me, guys. Imagine this is me. Imagine this me on the screen. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European Time on the dollar. We do the show every day because we gotta know what's happening with Bitcoin, altcoins, and everything else. And of course, guys, today we're gonna talk about channels all over the place, up, down, left side, right side. Is gonna go up, is gonna go down. We are looking a little bit weak, but we're gonna talk about that and what's happening. I'm also gonna show you some nice statistics on accumulation phase, how long usually this kind of stuff lasts, and what we can expect now that we are in this accumulation phase. That said, who's in the chat? MBD Financials, Photorealist is Metaverse. Good morning, how you doing, man? Round Earth, Bitcoin to 50k end of year. Yeah, maybe I'm not quite sure about that, but we'll see how far we get up. The Center Plan, what's up? Breach Cable, what's up? How you guys doing? What's up? I'm the 15th final stage of grief acceptance. I finally accept it's never going to rain again in Houston. Is it that hot in Houston? Mladen is in the chat. Hi Mladen, how you doing, man? Nice channels. Hi Sasha, do you use any volume indicators like highest volume indicator? John Barker. No, I actually just use the regular volume on the screen down here. You will see the volume. That's the only thing I use. I don't use any other stuff. Kataho, good morning. Lily is in the chat. Lily, good morning, how you doing? Let's dump. I want to put some money in it. Yeah, me too. So, we're gonna see if we actually get a dump. What happened to your face? Exactly what happened to my face? It's the OBS. Sometimes when I start the OBS, the camera doesn't turn on for some reason. And, I need to restart the OBS. But if I start the stream without the cam, then I need to restart the stream, and I don't want to do that. So, no face today, guys. No face today. Faceless. New TLI emoji. New TLI emoji, yeah. So there is that, guys. We're gonna talk about Bitcoin, what's happening over here. You can see here we had a small little pump towards the upside, and right now we're coming back down. There are definitely some kind of channels happening on the chart over here, and we can start talking about that. Let's first go to the daily time frame, pop some moving averages up here. What we're gonna see here is that we are still holding the 20 moving average very nicely up here. So we are below the 10 moving average, but we are still holding this support down here, and if we start falling below that, we might be looking at some kind of 21.2. There is also nice support at around the 22k up here. There is a trend line going over here. We're gonna talk about that. But this thing over here, we are a little bit unsure whether this is a falling wedge, expanding wedge. What kind of wedge is this over here? I don't think it's something like this. It might be something like this over here, some kind of falling wedge happening. If you go to the 4-hourly time frame, remove the moving averages on the chart, you'll see that maybe, just maybe, it's some kind of falling wedge. Now it would be very nice it's some kind of falling wedge, because that means that we might hit some kind of lines. But you can see here it's not actually being respected. Maybe something like this up here, some kind of falling wedge that we went broke out of, and right now coming back inside the falling wedge. But it's not the falling wedge that I want to talk about. It's more about the channels. Let's go to 1-hourly time frame up here. Now let's go back to the 1-hourly time frame and see what's happening up here. Vishal is in the chat. Hi, do man. Andy Lou, he's in a wheelchair now. We need to see you. Yeah, tomorrow is the beautiful face. Today there's no beautiful face. Without seeing you might be lying to us. So, what kind of channel are we talking about? Well, we yesterday I think we talked about the channel on the downside down here. It started, I think we talked about it might be something like this up here, give or take. You can see something like this. But now that I've been looking a little bit more at this one, I think the channel is actually somewhere give or take over here. You can see these stops up here. I think that this might be the channel. I'm a little bit unsure, but I think this might be the channel. Now, this channel over here, we actually broke out. We did this several times, break, right back inside channel, try to break, failed, broke out. Right now we are retesting the channel on the downside, so it's very nice. Also, there is a very nice level of support down there that we actually hit on the dollar. You can see down here we hit this couple of times, one time, 2 times, 3 times. Are we gonna hit it for the 4th time down here as well? I'm a little bit unsure about that, but and right now, although it doesn't, it looks like Bitcoin is losing a little bit of steam. It can be, that we just gonna bounce towards the upside over here, but this over here also might be considered as some kind of inverse head and shoulders pattern up here. So you got a left shoulder, you got a right shoulder over here, and right now you're creating this left shoulder head and right shoulder over here, and where is it? Something like this up here, give or take. So this might be some kind of head and shoulders pattern, and if this head and shoulders pattern plays out, we might be seeing something like just a technical move towards downside. You can see that we go back below the below the channel over here, but maybe only come down with the wick up here, get some kind of support here and bounce. So if this head and shoulders pattern plays out, we might expect something like down here at 22k. Now it's important to notice this level at 22k, because this 22k level also corresponds very nicely on a bigger time frames. Let's go to the daily time frame up here. On the daily time frame with these wicks on the downside, so you got these 2 very nice wicks on the downside. You can see here exactly at 22k we got some kind of confluence there between the channel, the 22k, the head and shoulders pattern, and everything right now is saying that this might be some kind of low level that we might hit again in this channel. Now the problem with this level up here is if we actually hit this level around 22k, we are sitting on less support on the downside. We are also sitting on the support on the channel towards downside, and if this actually fails, we might expect some kind of bigger dump towards downside. So it does not look good if we actually fall down back to the support. Now also on the bigger time frames, if you look at it like this over here and pop some indicators on the downside, you'll see that we are losing steam a little bit on the chart. Now, first of all, we had, I don't know if you can see this over here, but on the RSI we have a RSI divergence. Now this divergence already played out. Technically it already played out, so it doesn't have to play out anymore. But the fact that we are already creating divergences up here at some kind of 60 levels might indicate a more move towards the downside, towards downside. It does not have to do that, but we can just bounce from over here, but it's already kind of losing a little bit of steam. Also on the momentum indicator down here, we are creating higher highs while we on the momentum is going towards downside, and you can also see the my own TLA over X indicator is showing that momentum is losing steam towards the upside. Not only that, I don't know if you know who Tech Lead is. I'm gonna show you up here. Let's go to the youtube.com Tech Lead. I don't know who this guy, I don't know if you're gonna know who this guy is, but there we go. I'm buying 100,000 of Bitcoin. So he FOMO'd in 2 days ago, and of course when people start FOMOing in, what do? We start selling. So this might be some kind of first indication of that, people are starting to FOMO in up here already around 24,000, and if they are already kind of FOMO in, that means that we are going down to 0. That's always the case. That's always the case. Hopefully, the grandma and gram that hasn't started FOMO in, so there might be some kind of more move towards the upside. But the fact that mainstream YouTubers are kind of FOMOing back into this might indicate that we might have a move towards downside. Support line on downside, very, very important. We do not want to lose this. This is around right now around 22k. You lose 22k, you can definitely expect a bigger dump towards downside. This is a very important level of support that we need to hold. But a more beautiful line than this over here is actually down here. give or take where it goes, something like this. This is an even better line, and I like this line a lot better than this line over here. So this line over here says 22k, but the bottom line, the bottom support is around 21.5, give or take, and I like that a lot better. So the way that this right now going, because you can see here very nice hits on the line. So we got three very nice hits on the line. Even this wick up here and this fake out towards the downside, it's confirming the line. So right now I think this might be also a channel over here. Let's go pull something like this up here, give or take. Where the channel goes, maybe something like this over here. So what you're gonna see right now in this channel over here, that we have crossed below the midpoint up here. So move towards downside is around 21.5. So 21.5 to 22k, give or take, up down in that area. If we start continuing going down below this 20 moving average down here, we might see that. Also on the bottom side, the very important level of support is the 50 moving average right here. So right now in this channel over here, everything says that there is a huge amount of support around 21.5, 22k, give or take, on the downside down here. Now the only way we can actually figure that out, whether this is gonna come to the downside, upside over here, is to analyze this this bit of information that we have here. We have right now 1 2 3 4 5 6 red days in a row, and let's analyze a little bit that more in detail. Now, as we just said, this might have been some kind of channel towards the downside. This might have been some kind of channel towards the downside down here, like we see over here. And right now we are still above that channel, so technically we should consider this that it might also it might bounce. And I think right now we should be concentrating on a long position over here of the support over here. Only if this we start losing the support and go back inside the channel, I think that's a very bad news, and I think that we might start looking at lower levels after that. But I don't think we should actually be looking at lower levels just yet. Also, like we said in the start, the falling wedge up here goes from top up here, something like this, give or take, over here, and the bottom side goes something like this up here, give or take, right? And you can see here it might have been some kind of falling wedge that we broke out of the falling wedge, right now retesting these lines. So this level of support down here needs to hold. I think this is the very first important level that, if broken, would indicate move down to 21.5, 22. But if you do not break it, if this level actually holds, if this line on the downside actually holds, and if if the bulls show that we have strength down here, this will actually be very nice to bounce, level to bounce off of. So I think everything right now depends whether this line is going to be held or not. Right now it's it's some kind of channel up here, going in some kind of channel up here. Where is the channel again? Something like this up here, give or take, might be going some kind of channel. You can also see that this channel actually broke below the midline, it got rejected there again, right now going down. So down here there is a huge amount of support. We need to bounce off that, we need to bounce above this midline up here. If we bounce above the midline, we might test the upper lines again, and if we do that, then further move towards upside can be legit. But right now it does indicate support line up here, but we need to see how this actually reacts to the support again. We saw a very nice bounce, so these are 3 bounces up here, very nicely up here. So we need to see some kind of continuation towards the upside. We can also zoom in more up here in the chart and start analyzing the last bit of part up here, but I think we're gonna do that a little bit later. That's like very short, but the most important level right now, 22.7 or something like that up here. We need to see how this actually reacts to this level. So that's what I'm watching for today. I'm watching this level, I'm watching for the breakdown or break up, and see how this actually plays out. Now there was one more thing I want to show you over here on the charts, and that's the accumulation phase, how long this actually usually takes. So what you're gonna see here on the charts, let's use another chart up here and clean up everything. What you're gonna see actually here on the chart is that we have had right now on the weekly time frame 1 2 3 4 5 6 weeks. 1 2 3 4 5 6 5 see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Why it says 6 bar? It starts counting before the last bar. Okay, so let's say 6 bars. 1 2 3 4 5 6 bars, including why doesn't it actually count the last bar? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 bars, but over here it's just like 6 bars. Okay, so it's, you know, 6 plus 1, 7 bars. 5 plus 1, 6 bars. So we had 6 weeks of, let's just do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 weeks of accumulation phase going on right now. And if you look here in the short-term period up here, over here, and over here, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles in a row before we got this green candle up here. 8 weeks before we actually continue towards upside. So this was an 8-week accumulation phase, and up here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks accumulation phase before we tried breaking up towards upside. So this was a 7-week, this was an 8-week. Right now over here is like 3, 4, 5. We are right now at 7 weeks up here as well. Accumulation phase, so technically, you know, we can continue going towards the upside. Now let me go a little bit more back in time and see how this accumulation phase has you know, been acting before. What you're gonna see here in 2018 is that this accumulation lasts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks before we started this up, you know, very nice option. So this over here was 10 weeks, but if you consider the entire thing up here, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18 weeks accumulation phase. So this phase over here was a little bit longer, but from we, you know, stopped the zigzagging, it was around 10 weeks up here, give or take. In 2014 it was actually a lot longer accumulation phase down here, a lot longer accumulation phase. And this over here, we're just gonna do it like this from the bottom down here to where we actually start, like 33, 34 weeks, give or take. This was a huge accumulation phase. This lasted for you know, half a year or something like that. 33 weeks, yeah, more, yeah, three quarters of a year. So so a very long time, this accumulation. So I'm a little bit unsure whether we're gonna see this kind of accumulation phase again, because it's just too big of accumulation phase. This happened in, you know, 2015 when Bitcoin was in its infancy, very early. So whether we're gonna see something like this again, I do not think so. So my bet is still you know, around 10 weeks, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. I said 3 to 6 months. 3 months is 4, 8, 4, 12. 3 months is around 12 weeks. So 6 months is around 24 weeks. So I'm a little bit unsure. I'm a little bit unsure whether we're gonna see 6 months of accumulation phase or something like that. But it does indicate that we, you know, are getting ready for some kind of bigger move. So we can definitely pull back down here again and then go towards upside. So this accumulation phase, I think this accumulation phase over here is gonna be longer than 7 and 8 weeks, because it is a very major accumulation phase. This over here, what I would call some kind of intermediate, you know, accumulation phase or redistribution phases, or whatever kind of phase that you want to call it, some kind of consolidation phase. These were, you know, intermediate consolidation phase, but this is a big one. So I think it's gonna last more than 7 weeks, at least, you know, from what I can see, last thing, let's look at the weekly time frame, is the moving averages up here. And what you're gonna see here, that last week, of course, we managed to, you know, get above the 200 moving average. We did not get above the 10 moving average, but we you know, opened above 200 and the 10 moving average. So the opening price was above both of the moving average, which is very bullish, and we are still holding this 10 and 200 moving average. So closing below down here, it could indicate more move towards the downside. Sorry, more movement towards the downside, and this wouldn't be something unexpected. Oftentimes, when you see some kind of impulsive moves, if you see price and it does some kind of impulsive moves and it tries to recover again, there will be moving averages coming, something like this up here. What happens with the moving averages and price play up here is the moving averages go to the hit you know, the moving average, then get rejected while the moving average continues down, and then gets above the moving average on the second move, tries maybe to, you know, get above here, maybe even gets above, then does, you know, this third touch on the downside, and then gets above all the moving averages and continues towards the upside. So you got this, you know, this very nice play of the moving average where you get above the moving average. So right now, you know, getting rejected down here wouldn't be that bad, because you see the 20 moving average is all the way up there. So we could pull a little bit more towards downside, then maybe get above the moving averages up here while the 20 moving average is coming to us, then get above 20 and then continue towards the upside. This is a very normal standard procedure, if you want to call it like that, that usually happens on a small time frame. So if you watch something like, you know, 5 minutes time frames, this happens all the time. You can see up here, for example, the price had a big move towards downside. It goes up to the first moving average, get rejected a little bit, pushed a little bit more towards that, then jumps on the moving averages, then jumps on the next one and continues towards the upside. It is very, very normal move that happens all the time. Big move towards downside, jumps to the moving averages, first, 10 moving, get rejected up there a little, then tries to get above it. And oftentimes, if you have some kind of bottom, you continue. If not, you break this on downside, continue to the downside. But the move that we are talking about on the weekly time frame, because we are assuming that we are at some kind of bottom. We are assuming that this is some kind of bottom. So, some kind of rejection up here and move towards downside, would be a normal move. I wouldn't consider this any kind of way, shape, or form to be any kind of very, very bearish. It would be, kind of expected. And then, climb on the moving averages and then go towards the upside. So, it's just a little bit more information about, how these accumulation phases play out. Now, is there any questions in the chat? Regular head and shoulders pattern, Yeah, we're gonna see how this regular head and shoulders plays out. It might be a regular head and shoulders pattern, but it does look like a head and shoulders pattern to me. Try to go up, failed. Try to go up second time, failed. Right now, trying to go third time, failed. So 1 failed, 2 fails, 3 fails. So this over here, head and shoulders pattern, if it breaks down, it's gonna be ugly, right? Dobro jutro, M21. How you doing, man? Doesn't look like a bit like you are smiling. Think we are going to break that channel. We might do that. Man, sure looks like a bear flag till proven otherwise. I don't know. It's kind of, there was no impulsive moves up here. It just kind of, starts, rounding up here. Maybe it's some kind of rounding shape up here that's actually playing out. So if you, technically, if you hold the support up here, and we might actually survive this rounding shape, but we need to see how this rounding shape actually works out. Hidden bearish divergence on the weekly. Let's check that out. Oh yeah, I did not even see that. So you can see these tops up here and the move towards downside. Tops up here is actually going towards the upside. So yeah, there is definitely, I wouldn't call the problem that I have with this move up here and this pivot point. It's just so small pivot point, right? It's not like very, very distinct. It's a small green candle towards the upside. So a little bit unsure whether I would call this bearish. It could very, very well be the bearish divergence. Let me see on the monthly time frame. Do we have anything up here that says right now any kind of divergence weekly? Let's still go 2 days chart up here. On 2 day chart, we don't have anything up here on the charts, and it does look okay so far. The momentum is a little bit going down, but it can still bounce. It can still bounce, especially when you look at the daily time frame. You got this 100 moving average up here on the 2 day chart. You got the 50 moving average on the weekly chart. You got all the way up here at 33,000, but below that there is some kind of support here at 29,000. So could we bounce? Yes, we can, but the chance for that right now is getting slimmer. Every day. The way I see it right now is, although we are not bouncing very hardly and we are in some kind of downtrend, we can technically bounce more. But the problem is that since we already have gone up a lot in these very, very bearish times, the probability is turning from bullish to bearish slowly but surely. So I think there are still buyers, and I think there are still bulls that are trying to push the price up, but I think the momentum right now is turning more towards the bearish than towards the bullish. So even though we might be still in some kind of bullish move towards the upside, and there might actually come some kind of move towards the upside, I think the momentum and the sentiment is turning towards bearishness, right? So even though maybe the sentiment isn't 100% fully bearish just yet, I think we are turning towards towards that sentiment now. So we're gonna see how that actually plays out. Good morning, Damien. How you doing, man? I've been saying we are going down to the bottom of the channel by ignored on group. Just joking. Nobody's ignoring you, man. I don't think everybody is. But yeah. If people are bullish, they won't listen to bearish news. If people are bearish, they won't listen to bullish news. It's just human psychology, guys. Bitcoin needs to drop around my payday, then after it, then it can go up. Of course, payday then up. the left shoulder is too high. Is there any kind of how high should be the left shoulder? Because when you have the way I analyze, you know, these patterns, and for example head and shoulders patterns, I don't think these shoulders up here really matter how high they are. I don't think they matter. What does matter is the psychology behind the move. So the price and the bulls start kicking the price towards certain levels, and then they, you know, hit some kind of resistance and push down, right? Then they do a second try up here, which gets them higher than previous time. Now, how much higher it gets them, it doesn't matter the way I see it. The thing is, they tried again and they failed for the second time. Now, for the third part of the head and shoulders pattern is important because they try again, but they don't even come as high as the first one, and that's actually the very, very bearish thing, right? So they tried once, second times, but the third time they're not even trying, and the price kind of just, you know, loses the steam and goes towards the downside. So over here is you know, head and shoulders pattern is 3 tries on certain trying to break the certain level, and failing that is going towards the downside. But you know how high these levels should be, I don't think that's very important. You know, it can be some kind of small, some kind of big, and some kind of small pattern. Okay, maybe not quite like this, but you know, if it's in the ballpark area of the top or something like that, I think it's good. I think it's good. So if you look at this head and shoulders pattern that we have right now, we have very nice support line downside, this head and shoulders pattern. You can see that this top up here came very close up here towards these tops, and this top is not even coming you know, as high as these tops up here. So it is losing kind of steam, and you know, the move towards downside can definitely happen over here, right? So it goes something from the bottom to the top to the bottom to the top to the bottom up here again to the top up here, and you know, and it gets out somewhere down here, right? Maybe. Emoticon is doubtful too. Good morning, Knibas. How you doing, man? BNB new all-time high with the Bitcoin pair. Ooh, yeah, BNB is running away from a lot of altcoins will, you know, win above Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not, you know, in the start Bitcoin might, you know, win against a lot of altcoins, but you know, the bullish altcoins will win against Bitcoin as well. Holy crap, it just noticed Nasdaq broke major resistance. If it stays above, the support will pump hard. Let's check that out. How is you know, how are you doing on the up here? What you're gonna see here on the weekly time frame, we are hitting right now resistance over here with a big move towards the upside. I'm a little bit unsure whether we're just gonna break this towards the upside, because I've seen a lot of bullish news lately in the mainstream media, you know, news and stuff like that, you know, oh, people are, you know, bullish, the recession is, you know, the fear of recession is going down, and yada yada yada. So I think a lot of people are FOMO in right now into the market up here, so I definitely could see a move towards downside. Now Bitcoin is already starting to move towards downside. We are hitting some major resistance up here at the top side, so you know, Bitcoin and you know, the stock markets, you know, going down for the next week, something like that could definitely happen. That's not Nasdaq chart. Yeah, this is not Nasdaq chart, this is Dow Jones, and this is S&P 500. S&P also broke the certain level up here. Where was the level up here? At least this one that I actually drew up here, and it broke also this level up here, but it did not break the top up here. You know, it can still go all the way up to some kind of 50 moving average before we can actually say, okay, this down movement up here is done, right? Nasdaq scaling up here. I don't think this either broke the resistance. It is at resistance just like Dow Jones. That's why I look at Dow Jones. It is sitting at resistance right now. The question is whether we're gonna break this resistance or not, right? But it's right now. So you can see right now that S&P is a little bit more moved towards the upside, towards certain very important resistance. But Nasdaq and Dow Jones have been hitting this resistance right now. So you know, whether they're gonna break it on this move a little bit, especially when you get a you know, 3 weekly candles in a row, it is very doubtful that you're gonna break some kind of major resistance on the same move towards the upside, right? I think it's more likely that we go a little bit more back, consolidate here, and then break up. And if we don't do that, then we might see more move towards downside, break the support down here on the downside, and then it's a big dump that awaits us, right? But we're gonna see. But right now we're coming to this stop up here. That said, let's go look at one last thing, and that's the dollar index. Right now you can see this very nice level of support that we've been having on this move towards the upside. Up here right now we're sitting on the bottom of that support. We still haven't broken the support, so technically the dollar index is still in an option. So you can see here right now it's sitting at the bottom. The Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500 are sitting at the top. So if this goes towards the upside and everything else goes down, Bitcoin will also go down, right? So it does actually work out. It does actually work out if everything happens, like we think it might happen. So if this continues for next 2 weeks towards the upside, something like this up here, it does another violent move towards the upside, you might see that Nasdaq go down, you might see Bitcoin go down, and then we might fail this and go down, and then everything goes towards the upside. So if dollar index is inversely correlated with the markets and the Bitcoin, and this bounces towards the upside, we might see dump on everything else. Now anything below 200 weekly may be golden. There is no rule how high it should be. Yeah, I don't think there is any kind of rule, but the sentiment on how it actually plays out is more important than the thing. Bitcoin is most correlated with technology than Nasdaq. When it comes to the rules on these patterns, I can tell you one rule on when it comes to cup and handle pattern. So everybody knows how the cup and handle pattern plays out, right? You got some kind of cup up here, creates this handle, and then goes towards the upside above the resistance, right? This is a cup and handle pattern. Now often people see this move go all the way down to the bottom and then goes and still call it cup and handle pattern. That's not true. Now the reason up here, and I'm not saying it has to go this high and this high, I'm gonna explain to you how this actually plays out. So follow me right now. When stuff starts going towards downside, there are some kind of moving averages that follow the price, right? And suddenly it starts jumping above these moving averages. You'll see that start moving averages, and it creates this cup pattern on the downside, right? And the moving averages follow the price towards the upside, and at one point it just explodes towards the upside. Now once it explodes towards the upside, these moving averages on the downside, they are a little bit extended from the price. So what happens here in a cup and handle pattern is that once it is extended, this move towards downside, this move back moves back towards these moving averages, right? So whether these moving averages are up here or down here or all the way down here really doesn't matter. What does matter is not actually the distance, because if you look at, for example, Investopedia or some other articles about patterns, and especially about cup and handle patterns, they would say that this move usually goes down one third of the move. But the reason it's 1/3 of the move is because usually these moving averages come there. So what we are looking on cup and handle pattern is how this move towards downside is respecting these moving averages because if it goes down to the moving averages and gets some kind of support on the moving averages, it will start climbing the moving averages towards the resistance up here, and then once it breaks that resistance, then we have this target up here at the top where it actually explodes towards the upside. So it gets pushed down by the moving averages, it jumps on the moving averages, it goes with the moving averages, explodes towards the upside, then it gets some kind of extension, moves back, gets retest that as support, climbs with the moving averages, and then explodes above the resistance, right? This is usually how it happens. There is no exact target where it should pull back to, but we are looking at some important moving average levels on a cup and handle patterns where it usually this last impulsive moves pulls back down to, and once this pullback has happened, then we see if it holds is our support, and if it does that, it can actually break up. Mug and paddle pattern, yeah, call it what you want to call it. Bitcoin is most correlated with technology, that's Nasdaq. Yeah, it might be that. In fact, Nasdaq is even more correlated with moons than Bitcoin. You think when Nasdaq is correlated with moons? I haven't checked that out. I'm not really in the mood to check it out right now, but I'll check it another time. Robert, dzień dobry, Robert. Looks like he broke the support on my line, but maybe I drew it sloppy. So Bitcoin right now, let's see, take a last look on Bitcoin right now over here. It's still above the support level up here. I think this line down here is the most important line. As long as we are above, it's all good. And there we go, guys. We got the best adult dating site on our chat right now coming in. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Hit the like button on the way out, even though you did not see my beautiful face today. Hit the like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe button. Hit notification button. Join KuCoin, guys. Only place where you can get the gems for the next bull market. You guys don't understand this, but the Moon, Crypto, Martin, they didn't get rich by trading. They got rich by Bybit links. That's one thing, but they got rich by buying gems, buying these low cap altcoins in bear market. When Bitcoin was down at 3K, they were buying. Everybody was in fear, but these guys were buying all these cheap altcoins. So I'm not doing the same mistake. I have been buying cheap altcoins, and I'm just gonna hold it for you next 2-3 years or however long this holds, right? And one of these places is of course best adult dating site, and the other one is KuCoin. TLS is the best adult dating site. Side hustle, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's my side hustle. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you a little bit later today. There might be some kind of trading. I did sleep well, 10 sleep. So we're gonna see that. Guys, enjoy. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.